It's time for Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. Let's do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. I'm Brandon, and I'm here with you on a Wednesday. With me is Ryan. Ryan, I got a question for you.
Hello. Hi. What?
How was it to finally beat your wife in fantasy football?
I am now 1-5.
I think so.
1-5 against Devin, and I don't know, man. Jonathan Taylor is the only reason I won. You did! Man, it was nuts. I completely expected to lose, especially after I believe Jimmy Garoppolo played on a Thursday night and didn't really do all that well. Wait, no, who played on a Thursday night? I can't remember, but who cares? Doesn't matter. Whoever I had on Thursday night
played
Sunday against the Jaguars. Yeah, so I don't know. I had a bad start and it ended okay, I guess. I went 2-0 because we play against the median.
Yeah, I went 2-0, and I still remained in 9th place in that league.
I think I'm still 7th.
I think so too, but
Let's go
I got a really tough schedule ahead. I get your cousin and then Devin.
Oof.
And then we play each other
Oof.
in the week going to the playoffs. So
That's dynasty league.
who knows? It could come down to us on determining who gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, right now 11-11, 49. Number 7 in the league. Yeah, I mean, I got Herrick this week. He's number 2 in the league. Next week I have Ducky, who's 10-12. He's got a good team. He's just not performing. Yeah, and then you week 12.
All right.
2-8-9 is who I have up in my last 3 games.
So now some of the fun stuff. So ESPN Pick'em results. Ryan and I tied this week at 9-6.
Yeah, the weird
I would
thing
have
is
won if I didn't change a pick, but
the weird thing is we picked a bunch of games differently.
Yeah.
And they all kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, I would have won if I didn't change a pick on Sunday morning, but you live with it. And good news for Ryan. Ryan squeaked out a victory over me, 123.48 to 120.
Might have been my best DFS week ever.
Congratulations to Joe Mathieu, 19, for winning the DFS contest this week, or last week. This week, we are going to do a little something different. So we mentioned that there was a tie week 18. We were going to do a captain showdown. I forgot. There's basically 2 slates this week. We have a Thanksgiving slate, which is 3 games tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we have the Sunday slate.
Mm-hmm.
So I will post later today our lineups.
I have to get that done today.
And the link to join our Thanksgiving slate. And then our normal Sunday slate will be on there before long. So if you guys want to play, it's still free. It's just for bragging rights. But you can play against us.
Yeah, nobody wins any money. Sorry, we're not that rich.
Well, even if it was for money, we'd have to do it as a buy-in.
Oh, I'm sure there's some tax things that would be.
It's not tax. It's the DraftKings takes a rake, so they take like 20% or something. I can't remember.
That's ridiculous.
I can't remember what it is, but they take a portion of it. That's how they make money. But yeah, so we have the slate. The Thursday one's open. The Sunday one should be opening soon.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get to our Week 12 preview. So we buys this week. We have Arizona and Kansas City. So those are 2 good teams. You're probably missing some good players there.
Yeah, 2 star-studded teams on bye this week.
So our first game, we open up Thanksgiving with Chicago at Detroit.
12:30 tomorrow, Eastern time.
Starting for Chicago, we got the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton.
Against Jared Goff.
It could be Jared Goff. They are saying that
he's leaning in the right direction towards starting. So if he picked up Boyle,
he's still going to be a game day decision, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't in our Superflex league. I don't have another quarterback. Oh, did you hear that the Cardinals dropped Strevler, not
Yeah.
Colt McCoy.
I figured they wouldn't drop McCoy.
They dropped Strevler and they picked up signed Trace McSorley from the Ravens practice squad.
So back to the Bears and Lions. Fields, he's doubtful for tomorrow, and it's already been said that Dalton is starting.
Yep.
Fields has a rib issue. Hopefully he's back in 2 weeks.
Hopefully.
Allen Robinson, though, he didn't practice Tuesday, and I don't think he has practiced today. I haven't heard anything. I'm going to see if I can figure anything out. See if there's been any updates, but this could be another week without Robinson.
Yeah. But Mooney's out there, guys, and I think Mooney does well with Dalton under center.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get a lot of targets.
Yeah, I mean, we do say Fields throws a good deep ball, but I think Dalton might be an upgrade for Mooney this week.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions, they give up the most deep passes. So Mooney could be a really, really good play this week. Check it out. He might still be out there on your waiver wire if you need a wide receiver for this week.
I think in our keeper league, somebody nabbed him. I think it's Ducky, actually.
Well, I'm not talking about just our keeper league.
Yeah. I mean, leagues around, everybody else's leagues. So I think I tried, but I was like, oh, man. Because I might be without Kamara again. So that's a...
Yep, and we'll talk about that soon.
We'll get to that in a little bit. But I took your advice, streaming defenses, and went out and put in a claim.
Yeah, I know. You got the Bears from me.
Yeah, I think I made them my first overall pick. Or waiver claim, just to make sure I got them. Hopefully I do.
You did get them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry. I got the Bears, and I hope they play really, really, really well.
Yep, I agree. Now, one thing I am hearing, the injury that Jared Goff has, the oblique injury.
It's more of a pain tolerance thing.
Well, not just that. It's similar to what a lot of pitchers get in baseball.
Oh, okay.
And one thing I hear is, like, they'll feel really good. Then they'll go out there and try to throw something too hard or throw too much.
They just tweak it, man.
And they get re-injured. So there is a legitimate chance Goff could be leaving this game.
I mean, either way, I'm probably not starting Goff or Tim Boyle in a
even in a super flex, I'm trying to avoid it if I can.
I thought about taking a chance and just going and getting a free agency ad out of Tim Boyle because nobody wants him. And I thought, I'll just play a position player. Their ceiling's probably higher than Tim Boyle. So,
yep. All right. So, my pick for this game. Actually, let's go ahead and go with your pick for this one.
I think I'm gonna go with the Bears. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit wins. I'm just more confident that the Bears are gonna win this, and especially with Dalton back. Veteran QB.
It feels that Detroit. They always lose on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Bears as well.
Sounds like a dying bear.
I am not going to go with the
That sounds like
Lions.
a tiger. Oh, God. Here we go. We're doing this, I guess. Now, for the Cowboys and Raiders, do you have a or yeehaw?
No, I don't have any of that.
Come on, man.
So the Cowboys, actually, CeeDee Lamb, he has a legitimate shot to play this week.
Apparently, he didn't even want to come out last Sunday after halftime, but they said, hey, let's play it safe. We got, rest of the season.
So actually, Dak Prescott said CeeDee Lamb, he was great today. He did everything. I don't think we have any limitations going into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he still has to be cleared by an independent consultant. And there was still one hurdle he had left to clear, and I think that's the only one.
Yeah, there was something today, and then the step 6 in the process was individual consultant, and they said that independent consultant. Sorry, that'll be done today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe we should know before the first game, but that's good news because he plays on Thursday. You don't have to make any alternate plans quickly. The only thing is just make sure he's out of your lineup, and since we have so many of them, get those Thursday players out of your flex spots.
Yeah, wait, what?
Get the Thursday players out of your flex spots and put them in the wide receiver or running back spots.
Oh yeah, true.
In case of injury, like fluke injuries, COVID sitting.
I really hope Kamara plays tomorrow.
You gotta. It helps open up some spots. Other than that, Zeke. he got hurt in the game against the. What's it they played now? I can't remember.
Giants?
No, they didn't play the Giants last week. He got hurt last week, but he's back in full practice yesterday, so no worries there. You're starting him as you normally would. And the Cowboys are still without Cooper because of COVID implications.
Yeah, last week.
You know what's one player I really like with all this, though?
Michael Gallup.
Dalton Schultz.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dalton Schultz could be a big play here. If Lamb sits, even bigger.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
As for the Raiders, it's hard to start anybody on that roster right now, other than maybe Jacobs. He's been better in losses, but he's
well, I mean,
a low-end running back, too.
Waller played pretty well.
Oh, yeah, and Waller.
Week.
Forgot about Waller.
Yeah, Waller played pretty good last week. Tight ends, man, that's a rough road to travel down. Tight ends, they're frustrating. I had the number 3 and number 4 tight ends on my roster, and I had no idea which one to play. I might play Gesicki this week because of Tim Boyle or Jared Goff.
Just wanted to bring this up about the Raiders. Since their Week 8 bye, that's without Ruggs.
Okay.
The Raiders have scored 16 points, 14, and 13.
Cool. They're not putting up points.
They are not putting up points, and it might be that Ruggs was more important to this offense than we kind of thought he was.
That deep ball threat, and I think people are just hoping Deshaun Jackson can catch the ball and then not fumble it. Because, I mean, that was a huge fumble against the Chiefs a few weeks ago. So,
but, I mean, it really worries me for if you're relying on Derek Carr. I'm probably avoiding Carr if I can here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, Ryan, who is your pick for this game?
The Raiders really surprised me, man. I thought after a bad loss 2 weeks ago, the Raiders would come back and put up a good fight against the Bengals, and they just didn't. The Bengals went out there and smacked them in the mouth, and they didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with the Cowboys here.
I mean, with the Raiders, they've lost their coach. They lost a wide receiver. They lost
a first-round defensive back.
Yeah, so they're going through the ringer right now as a team.
Yeah, we see them collapse at some point each year. They're always in the playoff talk, and then something happens and they just collapse. And I think it happens sooner rather than later this year.
It's hard to go out there and play with all that stuff that's going on. I'm taking the Cowboys as well. All right, our next game, we have the Bills at the Saints. So this one, Cole Beasley, he was limited yesterday with the rib issue. He's probably going to play. Unfortunately, one of my waiver wire ads found out after we did the video on Monday. Adam Troutman, he was placed on the IR with an MCL issue.
Yeah, so we apologize for that. We didn't see that injury update until after we had posted our podcast online.
Juwan Johnson, he could be an interesting flyer to kind of take over, though, too.
Yeah.
Kamara, he hasn't practiced yet this week. Let me see if I can find anything on him yet.
Why does it go away? My sleeper goes, or my...
Yeah, so far I haven't seen any updates on Kamara for today. But they're doing more walkthroughs than anything.
I mean, the last thing we had yesterday was he didn't practice in probably he didn't take any reps in their most rigorous practice of the week, which was Tuesday. And they're not really saying anything.
Believe me, if you're missing Kamara, you may not have Ingram this week either.
Yeah, and
Ingram, he got a limited practice on Monday, but he didn't practice yesterday.
And with this offense against this defense, if the only 2 running backs I'm willing to play for the Saints this week are Kamara or Ingram. I wouldn't take a chance on Tony Jones or Ty Montgomery at all if both Kamara and Ingram are out.
I agree there. But they did elevate Ty Montgomery to the active roster. So that leads me to believe they're going to be without at least one of these guys.
Yeah, and look, the Buffalo defense is big, bad, and scary, but they haven't played all that well against the run this year. I mean, Derrick Henry chewed him up pretty badly. And then
that's one of the top running backs out there.
And then Jonathan Taylor did it again. So if Kamara plays or Ingram plays, I would feel very, very comfortable starting them as an RB1 this week.
I agree. As for the Saints defense, they have been very bad against the receivers, other than maybe Marshawn Lattimore, who should be shadowing Diggs here.
Yeah.
You're not benching Diggs, but expect a little bit less from him. But that could open something up for Sanders or Beasley, something we've been waiting to see.
Yeah, this Saints team, I just can't get a read on them. I think they were finding their stride right before, Winston got hurt. Trevor Simeon came in and played really well against Tampa Bay off the bench. But I think now that there's more film on him in the Saints offense, this offense looks bad. This defense gave up 40-something points to the Eagles, so I gotta say, I think the Bills are gonna take this one.
I agree. I am picking the Bills as well. The Bills, they're a good team, and I can see them bouncing back in a major way after last week. Plus, it's going to be in a dome, better weather than they had last week, which a rainy kind of thing. That could have led to a lot of Jonathan Taylor's boost there.
I don't know. I mean, he just ran ruckshot through that.
Well, no, I agree. So. But I'm just saying that could be why they were utilizing them more as well.
Well, when you're averaging 7 yards a carry, it's hard not to give the ball to you every single play and give you 32 touches. Like, I don't know.
All right, so our next game, we have the Steelers and the Bengals. The Bengals are 4-point favorites. This starts our Sunday slate. Eric Ebron, he's expected to miss some time, and he braces for potential knee surgery. He's looking to get a second opinion on this. But
now if you're rostering Freiermuth, that's good news for you.
Definitely. And honestly, he might be somebody to go out there on the waiver wire because I guarantee he's probably around 50% owned at best, rostered at best.
Well, in redraft, yeah, for sure. But
and, I mean, Roethlisberger likes his tight ends this year.
Yeah, he's going to both of them pretty consistently. If he could get the ball deep,
he's looking for him in the red zone too.
I think Claypool will benefit from a younger, stronger arm that can lead him down the field.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw last week Roethlisberger just couldn't get the ball out there in front of Claypool, and that's really hurting his value.
Yep. I mean, as for the Bengals, this could be a better week for Tyler Boyd again. Because the slot DB for the Steelers isn't that great. But this could be one of those AFC North ground and pound games. You got two really good running backs in this game.
Yeah, I mean, little Najee and Joe Mixon, man, they're putting on shows this year. Definitely, I mean, they're not Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt in Cleveland, but they're doing pretty good. I mean, Najee could potentially be one day, and Joe Mixon, we know, is a solid running back. But at the end of the day...
But, I mean, the big thing I want to throw about Najee there, Najee can catch the ball out of the backfield, and we saw what Michael Carter did when the Bengals played the Jets.
Yeah,
the Bengals could not stop that.
No, yeah, you're right. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, Steelers came back against the Chargers, and the Chargers just one big play, pretty much sealed it. And then this offensive line for the Steelers, it's just... Those 37 points against Los Angeles, I don't think that's telling of how good this offense really isn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's not that good.
This offensive line has a lot of holes, and
I like
their
this
quarterback is lacking the deep ball. He can't throw it anymore.
Right, and that really allows you to stack the box against Najee, and this offensive line is just not that good. But this Bengals defense has shown, I mean, last week they played really well coming off the bye. The very first possession for the Bengals, Joe Burrow gets sacked, fumbled, and the Raiders returned it down to the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what happened in that possession?
They kicked the
field goal. Raiders kicked a field goal. The defense, I like the Bengals in this game. They don't like. I know Juju's not there to put into the, 6 inches deep into the ground this week.
But I mean, yeah, and last time these two played, the Steelers had Juju, but they didn't have Deontay Johnson.
Right, but I still, that's fine. I was going back to last year when Juju was dancing on the logo, and they just put him.
They beat the Steelers with the third string quarterback on Monday night.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But I'm picking the Bengals here. I
thought you weren't picking the Bengals anymore this year.
It's hard not to. I just don't want to be disappointed twice by not picking them. I just like this matchup for the Bengals. Yeah, hopefully T. Higgins can get back on the right track, and Jamar Chase can get back to doing what Jamar Chase was doing at the first half of this season. But I like the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, the good news after the Steelers lost to the Chargers, Bengals moved into the fifth spot for
And the
playoffs.
wild hunt. So the
And I
first
think-
wild card.
Yeah, and the Steelers I think had the second or third wild card spot. So your projection of the Bengals making the playoffs, it might come true.
It's looking good.
Now, this one can go anyway. I mean, I can see the Steelers coming out with a vendetta since the Bengals beat them at Heinz Field.
Yeah, I can see it too.
But I think the Bengals, they might be the better team right now.
Look.
I'm going with the Bengals as well.
Look. Listen. Hear me out. I fully expect the Bengals to lose every week. It's been my entire life that way. And every Sunday I watch the Bengals and I go, who day? And then
Gets his hope
the
up,
Jets. Okay, great.
and then he gets
Really?
let down.
But then you look at
All right, guys, welcome back. Sorry we had some technical difficulties. Looks like our stream crashed on us. But good news is we are back now.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. It takes a minute to show up on here.
Well, then they're not going to be able to see us. Or
But
hear
it
us.
will. It just takes a minute to show up on here.
Okay.
There's a bit of a delay. But
Not
yeah,
green.
so we are back again. We appreciate you guys hopefully joining back in with us.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody.
So we'll go ahead and go back. We'll finish off our Bengals talk again. We didn't get everything on there apparently.
I'm taking the Bengals. I don't know where we stopped, but
Yeah, I'm
that's
taking
all right.
the Bengals as well. This defense, they're good, and this seems like the game that they're going to get hyped for.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bengals as well.
Boop, boop.
All right, and get back to our next game.
Bucks Colts.
Yep, the Buccaneers at the Colts. The Buccaneers have a good run defense, so I'm not taking out Jonathan Taylor. He's a staple in your lineup from here, but
Mhm.
there could be a slight downgrade for him.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not expecting another 55-point game, but I think 25 points will probably be his output this week. He'll get to his 8th or 9th consecutive game with rushing or 100 rushing yards. We're going.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
So I don't think he'll have. I would temper expectations and not expect a 50-point game. That's really, really hard to do.
No.
Week in and week out.
As for the other side of this, the Colts, they're actually a really good run defense.
Yeah.
So I would kind of temper expectations for Fournette, but the Colts, they've allowed the 5th most fantasy points to wide receivers this season, including the 5th most to the perimeter. So that's good news for Bucs receivers.
Yeah, especially Evans and Godwin. I think, and maybe if is AB back.
They're saying
He's
he's
on a
getting
boot.
better, but I don't think we've seen him out on the practice field yet. So it's hard to say on that, but
I still think these wide receivers are you can trust them enough now and keep them in there even with Gronk back.
Yep.
So
who are you taking for this game?
look, I've taken the Colts pretty much every week since they started their win streak. When they played the Bills, I took them last week. The week before that, I took them, and nobody thought they'd win that one. I think it was against the Rams, maybe. I don't know, but whoever. I'm sticking with my Colts pick. Lucas Oil's going to be fired up for this game.
Yeah.
So I think the Colts control the ground. It's going to come down. I think they're going to get pressure on Tom Brady and be able to figure out how to get pressure on Tom Brady.
You mentioned Lucas Oil was going to be on fire for this game. The Colts have some resentment against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Brady beat them a lot when he was in New England.
Yeah,
so,
especially in AFC Championship games. So
so they probably want to stick it to Brady here, but I am going to take the Bucs.
our first disagreement.
All right, so our next game we have the Panthers at the Dolphins. There's not much injury news here. Flores, he mentioned that he's unsure if Parker and Fuller will be designated to return this week. I wouldn't be banking on them, but Waddle seems to be kind of a mainstay in lineups for now.
Yeah, Waddle's doing really well, especially with Tua getting healthy again. He's been his favorite target besides Mike Gesicki. So
Yeah.
both of those guys you can feel comfortable starting in your lineups.
Tua could be even a good, decent streamer here.
Yeah, especially against this defense.
But
I mean,
Cam Newton, he's a guy that you can definitely stream against this Dolphins defense.
yeah, I wouldn't expect a lot through the air, but you mentioned before we got cut off, his running game is going to be good against this weak rush defense of the Miami Dolphins. So I could see it. Wouldn't expect a whole lot. I mean, the signing of Cam Newton got Carolina all up in a frizzy, and then we saw what the Panthers were last week. You know, they are who we thought they were.
So
when they got beat by
I know
the
you
football
said
team.
you're never taking the Panthers again this season, so I'm guessing you're taking the Dolphins.
Yes, you can guess that right because I said it before before we realized we were cut off. I'm taking the Dolphins. Why not the Waddle?
I don't have that one yet.
Oh,
I gotta get that one made again.
dang it! All right.
But Ryan is taking the Dolphins.
Flipper.
I am gonna take the Panthers on this one.
Oh, our second disagreement.
So after that, we have the Titans and the Patriots. Titans, they made 13 roster moves yesterday.
I mean, Marcus Johnson
They-
IR.
Yeah, Johnson
Derrick Henry's
IR,
out. Cut Adrian Peterson.
activated Hilliard, and they signed Golden Tate and 2 other receivers to their practice squad.
Uh-oh.
That being said, there's not much to talk about here. This Patriots defense has been really good,
Yeah.
and the Titans could even be without A.J. Brown. But if he does play this week, he's expected to see a lot of Jackson, New England's number 1 corner. And Jackson's done a really good job shutting down those top receivers this year.
Yeah, but what if AJ Brown doesn't play? Then who's the best wide receiver in Tennessee?
It has to be a Keenan.
What about Des
Who knows?
Fitzpatrick?
I don't think Des Fitzpatrick's that good.
Maybe not, but maybe the Patriots defense is just going to be so confused because they don't know who to key on, and now they have to worry about all, the quarterback plus 5 receivers and a couple of running backs, some tight ends.
With Derrick Henry gone and the flurry of injuries that the Titans have had, I'm not even touching Tannehill in the redraft.
No.
So based off that, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Patriots for this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 67% of America as well and stick with the Patriots.
So now we're getting back to where we were when we found out we were cut off.
Yep.
The Eagles at the Giants. Jordan Howard, Nick Sirianni, their coach, said that Howard's unlikely to play in Week 12. So Sanders seems to be the guy that you're wanting to run out if you have a Eagles running back, but I'm not sure that I'm running any of them out there right now.
No, but you're probably playing the Eagles defense.
Other than that, Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles or Giants,
Fired.
he just got fired yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully that opens up this Giants offense a little bit more.
There's tons of talent here. I mean, Kenny Galladay, we know he's talented. He's just always hurt, but he was back last week. Didn't look very impressive.
Kadarius Toney, they said that in games he's played since his breakout, he's led rookie wide receivers in routes run.
And
this guy is talented, and they're looking for ways to get him the ball.
I mean, last year, Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts at Florida, I mean, they averaged 40-something points a game, right, at Florida. I mean, that Alabama game against a really, really good Alabama defense last year put up, I think, 42. I think the final of that game was 45-42. Bama squeaked it out. But, yeah, I mean, he's a great wide receiver, and they got to find ways to get him the ball for sure.
So, going to the other rookie receiver in this game, Devonta Smith. He's likely to be shadowed by Bradbury, and Bradbury's been very good for the Giants this year. We saw what he did Monday night, and he basically shut down Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans struggled a little bit. I mean, he had a few catches there, a few receptions there for some more than 10 yards, but for the most part, yeah, it wasn't a big day for as big of a day as you hope for Mike Evans. But
I'm probably avoiding Devonta Smith in this matchup. And then, honestly, I'm not sure that I want to start a Giants wide receiver because Philly's defense is actually really good against receivers. I mean, I'd be willing to take a shot on Toney, but that's about it.
I think he played the studs, and I think Toney's making a name for himself. He might not be considered a stud this year, but In years to come, he'll definitely be a surefire 2, if not wide receiver 1 on this roster or some other roster. But yeah, I think I would be comfortable still throwing Tony out there, especially in a wide receiver 3 or flex position.
But Galladay, I'm probably not touching. He only had 1 reception last week, and
first drive, and then it was just downhill from there.
So I'm gonna take the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles as well. This is a huge division game, and the Giants, they're just, again, they're like the Saints, man. It's like, who do you don't know what to expect from them.
And they're still 3-7, so I think we have a decent answer there.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I don't think Daniel Jones is as bad as he gets a rap for.
No.
He has not had an offensive line in his career there.
No, we'll see. We'll see how he does without Jason Garrett calling plays. Maybe that helps him. Not necessarily a change of scenery, but a change of coaches, and maybe that'll help him look better.
So our next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville just lost Agnew, but other than that, there's really not much injury notes.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting Robinson. You're starting Arnold, but that's probably, you might be able to take a flyer on Mike Jones this week.
Mike Jones. I guess. I don't know.
As for the Falcons, though, you're starting Pitts and Patterson if he plays. That's probably about it.
I mean, yeah, you got to start Pitts just because, I mean, he had back-to-back 30-point games earlier this season, and he's going to be shadowed. He's basically their number 1 option, especially with Patterson out and Ridley out. But Russell Gage stepped up a little bit last week, and Olamide Zacchaeus, he's starting to be a little bit better, but not enough to take eyes off of Pitts, but you still have to play him out there.
So who are you going with this game?
I look at the wins Jacksonville has had, and it's like a 9-6 win against the Buffalo Bills. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like the Jags won that game. It was more of Buffalo lost it. I can't remember who they beat other than that. They might only have 1 win now.
Too.
But I'm going to stick with the Falcons here. I think Matt Ryan and the rest of this offense take some time to figure out, find their footing, and get back to what we know what Matt Ryan and this offense can do. So,
all right, and I'm going to go with Jacksonville in this game.
Our 3rd straight. Well, 3rd out of 4 were picked differently.
All right, so our next game, we had the New York Jets at the Houston Texans. Mike White and Joe Flacco have been placed on the reserve COVID list. So right now, and that's already, it was already announced before this, Zach Wilson is the starter with Josh Jacobs as the backup. But Flacco hasn't tested positive, so he's a close contact, so they're hoping to have him Sunday.
Yeah.
Michael Carter, he had a low-grade high ankle sprain, so he's definitely going to miss a couple weeks. I'm not sure I'm trusting a Jets running back other than that. So
unless you absolutely have to, I would say Tevin Coleman and Ty Johnson are the only 2.
I prefer Ty Johnson over Coleman because I think he's the better
PPR.
back.
He's younger for sure. PPR value, absolutely.
Speaking of running backs, though, Titans cut Philip Lindsay earlier this week. Texans cut Philip Lindsay earlier this week.
Yeah, that's a shocker, man. Philip Lindsay
averaging like 2 yards per carry.
I'm just thinking back to his Denver days. He looked really good, and he was pretty much, I thought, the reason they forced,
Yeah, so
I don't know, man.
Receivers in this game, though, the Jets, they've allowed the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers over the past 8 weeks. In Houston,
on, Brandon Cooks.
They're allowing the most fantasy points to perimeter receivers this week, as well as the 3rd most overall. This could be a good game for receivers.
Is Jamison Crowder an outside wide receiver? Is he a slot?
He's a slot guy. But Elijah Moore, he has been a perimeter receiver, and that's where he's played better this year.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
shocking because he came out of college
as a 3
as a slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore, he is the wide receiver 1 over the last 4 weeks.
For the Jets or overall?
Overall.
For all receivers in the league?
Yeah. He has been good these last 4 weeks.
That's really surprising.
So, honestly, I don't have an issue if you run Elijah Moore out there this week.
No.
But Brandon Cooks, he's a boom bust wide receiver 3 right now.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in my wide receiver 2 spots, just praying, hoping.
Yeah.
Praying.
So
I mean,
Ryan,
there's only been a couple games this year where he hasn't scored double-digit points, and I know it's not what you're used to from him, but at the end of the day, if he gets you 10, 15 points like he has been doing for my team, I'm not disappointed in that.
all right, so Ryan, who are you taking for this matchup?
Initially, I said the Jets, but then I thought about it. It's the Jets. And then I thought about it again. It's the Texans.
I'm going to go with Tyrod and the Texans as well.
Yeah, I just switched it. I'm going to go with 71% of America and take the Texans as well. I think I'm going to play with the home team here.
So our next game, we had the Chargers, the Broncos. There's not much injury news here. One thing I did want to bring up with this game, though, the Chargers, they've only given up 4 touchdowns to receivers this season.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and the Broncos have a good set of receivers. You're starting them, but you're lowering expectations.
Oh, for sure. Certainly.
Now, Cortland Sutton, he's had this year like an 18% target share with Judy's been on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Without him, he's a 40% target share kind of guy.
Without Judy?
Without Judy.
Hot dang. Hot diggity dog.
So, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue if you bench Sutton this week if you have somebody else. Now, saying this is probably when wide receivers are going to go nuts for Denver. Other than that, though, you're starting Eckler. You're starting Keenan Allen, who could have a plus matchup against the Broncos from the slot here.
Yeah, and I still think you're starting Mike Williams.
Yeah, it's hard to bench him because he's that boomer bust wide receiver 3.
Stay away from Jared Cook and I think was it Donald Parham?
I think I'm starting Cook in the league somewhere, but
Well, if you have to, yeah, but a 9-spot roster, yeah, you're not
who are
playing.
you taking for this game?
Every time I pick against Denver, they win. Every time I pick Denver, they lose. I'm just gonna go Chargers because I have no idea.
I wanted to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression there, but I'm terrible at impressions.
What do you want me to do?
Go Chargers, go.
Go Chargers, go.
I'm going with the Chargers as well. Our next game, we had the Los Angeles Rams at the Green Bay Packers.
Who is your daddy and what does he do? Get down! Get to the chopper!
I'm sorry, guys, I opened up a can of worms.
Oh yeah, the Pandora's box.
The Rams at the Packers. Rodgers, he came out and said that he's suffering from something worse than turf toe. I guess it's a fractured toe. It's all about pain tolerance. They're not going to have him practice, but he's going to play.
I mean, he had one of his best fantasy days last week against, in a loss, but nonetheless, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dude went nuts.
Luckily for fantasy managers, Rodgers doesn't run the ball much. He just kind of needs to be able to plant and push off for the throws.
Yeah.
Thing is, Devonta Adams, and we kind of saw this in the playoffs, he could be shadowed by Ramsey. It probably won't be a full-time shadow. But even last in the playoffs, Devonta Adams really wasn't shut down much by Ramsey.
I think Devontae Adams is, other than a bye, you put him in your wide receiver 1 spot and you forget him and you don't worry about who's going to be guarding who killed who.
So, yeah, other than that, there's not much to talk about. Aaron Jones, he has been practicing this week. So there is a slight chance we could see him play. Keep an eye on the practice reports. But I think either way, A.J. Dillon's should remain in your lineup because if he plays, I don't think he's going to get the full workload.
Yeah, and for as much talk about, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, and Aaron Donald, this defense doesn't impress me.
Yeah, it hasn't been the defense that you think it should be with these top players.
Yeah, you have 3 of the best players at their positions, arguably at their position.
Now, I don't think Von Miller's played yet, or if he did,
he played
last week.
He played the last 2 weeks. I know he played last week for sure.
Yeah, last week I think it might have been his first week. So, who are you taking for this game?
I'm taking the Packers. I think they bounce back after that loss to their, division opponent in the Vikings.
I went with the Packers as well.
Something about
So our next game, we have the Vikings at the 49ers.
something about Aaron. I don't know.
The Vikings at the 49ers. We already kind of mentioned it. Elijah Mitchell, he was limited today.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned, do you think you could start Jeff Wilson? And I think you do. We saw it last year where Raheem Mostert was between the 20s guy, and Jeff Wilson was the vulture. So in a deep league, he could actually be a decent start for you.
Oh, you got one of those weird text messages,
Yeah.
dude? I hate those things.
I
man.
do too. But Jeff Wilson could be a decent start for you. It was an email anyways. But.
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty hurting. I mean, I got Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry out again. Well, Kamara out again. So I might have to play Jeff Wilson.
Yeah. As for the Vikings, though, they have allowed the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position over the past month, including the sixth most to the perimeter. That bodes well for Ayuk and Samuel.
Yeah, well, I gave up Najee Harris for Ayuk in a couple firsts.
I actually made the decision today to bench Judy for Ayuk before I even saw this new information.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't blame you on that one. Ayuk's had a good solid month.
Yeah.
The last month he's played really well, so I feel comfortable keeping him in my lineup now.
Other than that, though, I mean, you're starting the usual suspects. There's nothing really to change here.
Yeah, Debo, Ayuk, Thielen, Jefferson.
I mean, so who are you taking for this game?
Well, we saw it. I don't know if it was last week or not, but it was the first time that the 49ers had won at home in over a year. And I think they go on a home winning streak here. Maybe just a mini one. But I think they go and they win this game against the Vikings.
Every week, I say to you while we're watching games, I considered taking the Vikings here. This week, I'm taking the Vikings.
Oh, you're taking them?
I am taking the Vikings this week.
Okay. That's fair. They did just beat the Packers, so.
All right, so our next game, the Sunday night game, we had the Browns at the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, they said he's feeling better. I think he got a limited practice in today, but feeling better, it's a relative term, so we don't know if he's actually doing well or not.
I think he plays. They said 120% he plays.
If he plays, you're starting him, so I wouldn't really worry about that.
What happened?
Nothing. I was just looking at something.
We're on.
It wasn't that.
Oh.
I was seeing if there's some breaking news that might happen.
I don't know, but Lamar Jackson's gonna play. I don't know if Hollywood Brown plays, but Bateman.
I think he was limited today too.
But I think Bateman, Brown, Andrews, solid plays. Jackson, solid plays.
Devonta Freeman might even be a good play here.
I mean, he's a start. I mean, without Bell there, there's only really two guys to
He
split carries.
He outsnapped and outcarried Murray.
Oh, Roger shows off broken toe. I kind of want to see it.
We'll look at that later. As for the Browns, though, I think I'm really only considering starting Nick Chubb.
Well, Kareem Hunt's supposed to be back.
Well, I'm still starting Chubb. You're not benching Chubb.
No, absolutely
and
not.
I'd rather see a week of Kareem Hunt beforehand, and I think they just opened up his practice availability, so he may not even be activated for this game.
True.
For Hunt. Other than that, though, I'm not trusting any of these receivers or Mayfield.
Fair.
So, going off of that, who are you taking for this game?
I'm going to stick with the AFC home teams. Say Ravens.
I keep talking about how I think the Browns are the best team in the league, but I'm going to take the Ravens this game. And going back to the Titans, A.J. Brown did not practice today. So keep an eye on that injury report.
But you think the Browns are the best team in the entire league?
No, in the AFC North.
Okay, because you said the league.
Sorry, I meant division.
I was going to say, that's a bold statement. See if it pays off for him, Cotton.
So our next game, we had the Seahawks at the Washington football team.
This is Monday night.
This is on Monday night. Pete Carroll's been saying they need to use Rashad Penny more, but he's now suffering from a slight hamstring strain. So we may see more of Alex Collins and possibly TJ Dallas, who got the touchdown last week.
Yeah, thanks, TJ.
Chris Carson, he's slated to undergo update on Antonio Brown. He's still not practicing.
Oh, okay. Well, at least we know now.
Yeah, Chris Carson, he is slated to undergo a disc fusion surgery on his neck.
That sounds pleasant.
They are saying that he should be healthy late in the spring.
So he'll be back next year.
So good news for Washington football team. Logan Thomas is expected to be designated to return this week.
Cool.
So, I mean,
Does that mean he could play in Week 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just lose Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah, they lost Ricky Seals-Jones like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's on IR or something like that.
Keep it. Look out on your waiver wire, especially if you don't have IR spots. Logan Thomas could have been dropped, and he has been a very solid tight end this year.
Yeah, he was before he got hurt.
Other than that, there's not much news. You're still starting probably Gibson.
Yeah.
Lockett, he's one of those guys, he's boom or bust. And you probably want him in your lineup, especially at this point of the year.
Yeah.
In case he has those boom games. And Metcalf. Right. And, of course, Terry McLaurin.
Well, yeah.
You know, I heard a comp for Taylor Heineke today.
What's that?
He's like Gardner Minshew. He's that guy that he goes out there and he can compete with anybody, but he can also be benched at any point.
Yeah.
But the team rallies behind him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 6-year veteran, so he's been for getting his first start last year, he's playing about as well as you think somebody would, even though he's a 6-year veteran.
So other than that, there's not much news on this game. So Ryan, who are you taking for this one?
I think I'm gonna stick with the Washington football team.
All right, and I am gonna go with
Russell Wilson. Just doesn't look good. I don't think his fingers healed very well. I don't trust this offense. This defense is not the Legion of Boom it used to be.
I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle. I think they start to right the ship.
I still don't think Seattle makes the playoffs, so they're
Fair.
a little far behind. They're behind the
that's going to be tough. I think they only have 3 wins on the year so far.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys hanging out through our technical difficulties and the kind of awkward shift in video with the change in lighting and everything.
Yeah, sorry.
Hopefully we don't run into this issue when we record on Monday next week.
Who day? Oh, should we tell them?
Oh yeah.
Barber got promoted.
I got promoted, so I got a new schedule back to 11 to 7. So we will be recording later on Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
It won't affect the video really because we'll have it out maybe just a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna be streaming probably through the first quarter.
Yeah.
Of Monday and Thursday night games, so we apologize for that, but you can watch us on your phone while you watch the game on your TV.
Yep. And as for this episode, just listen to it while you're hanging out with your family.
Yeah. Spread the word, spread the love. Be thankful that we're still shooting videos for you guys.
Well, we're thankful for you guys, not thankful that we're shooting videos for you guys. Well, not that you guys shouldn't be thankful for us.
Yeah, we give you the answers. Especially Moochie. Every Sunday, he'll message me early in the morning, and I'm not even awake yet. It'll be, should I play this guy or this guy? I'm always like, play this guy. And I think only one time it didn't work out for him.
Ooh, Dolphins claim former Texans running back Philip Lindsay off waivers.
What in the H? I'm going to go pick up Philip Lindsay now.
I don't think he's really going to see an increased role, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, Gaskin's been playing decently well these last couple weeks. So.
But once again, like I said, we appreciate you guys. We're thankful for you guys taking time to watch our videos, like, share, whatever. Please like our social media, like and subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, time to go play Zombies Vanguard. Gotta level up shotguns.